Welcome back and welcome to the first full week of October. Thanks for spending a little time out of this evening with me. Facebook down. What else you going to do, right? Well, just kidding. But, right? Yeah, Facebook is still down. I'll talk about that briefly in just a few moments. That doesn't necessarily displeasure me, to be perfectly honest. But on a serious note, a lot of news to talk about this evening. A lot of positive news to really focus on tonight on a local level and statewide and nationally as well as far as COVID is concerned. Still deaths, cases, and everything that we've been having to live through for months and years now. But nevertheless, there's some positive trends that we can certainly grab a hold of right now. I'll share those with you in just a few moments. Numerous arrests over the course of the weekend, at least a few of which I'll report on tonight. A Johnson County man threatening authorities and charged with endangering the welfare of a minor, his own child. A man here in Mcfarland County who stole a vehicle from a local convenient mart. And a double fatality, two-vehicle crash that happened in Morgan County over the course of the weekend, just outside of the West Liberty city limits. I believe it will be just outside or on the edge. We'll talk about all that and much, much more before I leave you for the end of a beautiful evening, the likes of which we won't see many more of this week. We talked about it last week, alluding to the fact I was about low pressure. It's going to be around perhaps for more of October than not. And like many of our most recent Octobers in recent memory, it looks to be more of a wet one than not. Maybe 1, maybe 2 inches, maybe more of rain later on midweek, and some more possibly later on thereafter. So, yeah, your forecast is not all going to be like it turned out to be today. Beautiful day in the neighborhood today. A beautiful ball game for the Wildcats. Just leave it at that. Everyone's talked it and still talking it, and I was actually there. The kids there as well. You know, and it's also, I want to pass along something to note and talk about giving a parent a little bit of reassurance. 87% and counting of the faculty and the student population on the campus of the University of Kentucky have been vaccinated. I think that is indeed astounding. We'll talk about other vaccine numbers tonight, locally and statewide, in just a few moments. As far as the Facebook thing that I referred to earlier, well, it's been down since like 11:30 for, I think, worldwide, and it was at last time I checked just a few moments ago. And that, of course, perhaps bad timing. The cause has not been revealed yet, but it did happen just right around the same time, 24 hours or maybe a little less. Then a whistleblower appeared on CBS last night. That same person, a woman, Frances Haugen, who is set to testify against Facebook. Yesterday on CBS's 60 Minutes, she says that she was indeed the then anonymous woman who had filed complaints with the federal government that by Facebook's own research and determination, they know and have known that it, through making profits in its platform and trying to keep as many people active on it as possible, magnifies hate and disinformation and misinformation, as well as Instagram, responsible for harming teenage girls' mental health for profits. As a result of all of that, Facebook's stock was down today, another 5% after another 15% or so decline since the middle of last month. Zuckerberg lost, I think, $7 billion today, only just today, and his worth went down to still $120 billion. No word on when it's going to be back up. So, local news tonight. We'll begin with the arrest here in Mcfarland County of a man who has a Stanton address who was charged with theft of an automobile, fleeing and evading police in the first degree, resisting and menacing. All of this taking place after the theft of a vehicle at a Sagersville gas station. Yesterday afternoon, sometime a little after 4 o'clock, local authorities were dispatched by Mcfarland County 911 looking for a blue Toyota Camry that had just been stolen from the VIP gas station here in Sagersville on the Mountain Parkway, or 114. The Mcfarland County Sheriff's Department responded, talked with the owner, who told him that a man had stolen his vehicle while he was in the store, and that his dog was also still inside the car. Kentucky State Police were called to help observe, and shortly thereafter, one of the troopers saw the vehicle at the log yard area, which is up on top of the Ivington Hill there, just out of Sagersville. That trooper pulled in behind, activating his lights and siren, and that's when this man, identified as 19-year-old Joshua Sargent, fled on foot. The officer giving commands not to do so. Those commands were ignored. Sargent was ultimately taken into custody and then actually issued a statement to the officer saying that he indeed did steal the vehicle at the gas station. He was charged with theft by unlawful taking of that automobile, valued at over $10,000, fleeing or evading police in the first degree on foot, resisting arrest and menacing, and the investigation continues. I'm awaiting a few other details via a press release, which is downloading right now, for that double fatality collision that happened in Morgan County. I'll have that following this report, I do believe. For now, a Johnson County man was arrested yesterday after he sped off in a car, his car. However, he was highly intoxicated, according to his wife, who called authorities, and he fled with their child in tow. And after resisting vigorously, after finally being found and apprehended by authorities, he continued to threaten the lives of the arresting officer and others. This man, 22-year-old William Mason Sloan of Williamsport, was arrested yesterday by the Paintsville Police Department after he took off in that car from the Walmart in Paintsville with his child in the back seat, leaving his wife inside the store. He's since been charged with third-degree terroristic threatening, endangering the welfare of the minor, first-degree disorderly conduct, resisting, DUI, first-degree wanton endangerment. The case continues while Paintsville police officer Brian Runyon was sent to the Walmart after the female, the wife, has told employees that her husband had just fled the store in their vehicle with the baby in the back seat. The wife said he was heavily under the influence at the time, that he placed his child into the vehicle and then got in it and drove off. Moments later, officers started to go to his residence in hopes of finding him there, and did spot him speeding by on Route 40, headed back towards the direction of Paintsville. Authorities pulled in behind him. The vehicle pulled into a grassy bottom, and not one but two men jumped out and started to approach the officer's cruiser. One of them was Sloan, who continually and repeatedly refused to follow any and all commands issued by the officers, and after a physical struggle that lasted for quite some time, he was finally arrested and placed in the back of the car, and said things such as, this is per the citation, telling the officer that he better let him go or he wouldn't have a job tomorrow because his papa and other family members were connected and he was nothing but a bleep cop. He was screaming at the wife, who showed up to try to calm the child, threatened to break each and every finger of the police officer one by one, and then threatened the wife as well, and then threatened the officer's family. A complete write-up has been done by our editor, Lily Adkins of the Big Sandy News, and will be in tomorrow's edition of the paper. Now, for what I can tell you at this hour in regards to the Kentucky State Police, Post 8 out of Moorhead investigating a fatal collision that happened in Morgan County yesterday. Post 8 got a call from Morgan County 911 asking them for assistance with a two-vehicle fatal crash on Kentucky Route 7. This will be going out of West Liberty towards Moorhead, and it happened, as you're about to see, just past the ARH clinic in a curve on rain-slicken roads, with rain still falling at the time of the crash. I have two clips of the accident scene taken this morning. In this one, the camera is facing towards Moorhead. The other faces back towards West Liberty. Post 8 says that they received word of the two-vehicle crash on Kentucky Route 7 in Morgan County yesterday. And it was right here in this curve that they say 18-year-old Caleb Smith from West Liberty was traveling northbound in his 2002 Toyota Tacoma pickup truck, while in the opposite direction, 69-year-old Ellis Ratliff was traveling southbound in his 09 Hyundai Accent, and that Smith lost control of his truck and then crossed into the southbound lane, hitting Ratliff's vehicle. Ellis Ratliff was behind the wheel, as I said. His passenger was his wife, 75-year-old Mabel. Both were pronounced dead by the Round County coroner, John Northcutt, at the St. Clair Medical Center. As for the teenager, he was taken to St. Clair as well by Morgan County EMS and was later transferred, according to the state police, to the University of Kentucky Hospital for the treatment of his injuries. I have no update on his condition at this hour. Funeral arrangements are pending for Mr. and Mrs. Ratliff. When I come back, we'll start COVID numbers, and we'll start on a local front. Stay tuned. You asked for it, and now they're back. Spicy Bourbon Dippers are back at your Sayersville Lee's, and the name says it all, except to say that they will make you shake your tail feathers. Get an order or a meal before they're gone again. Spicy Bourbon Dippers are back at your Sayersville Lee's famous recipe. Call the pros. All Pro Gutter Works specializes in seamless gutters, vinyl siding, metal roofing, replacement doors and windows, remodeling or adding on to your home with free and fair estimates backed by decades of happy and return customers with guaranteed satisfaction and 18 months 0% financing. All Pro Gutter Works. 349-9999.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
Parkway Pharmacy, as always, promises the quickest service with the very best care and prices, and to always have someone there to talk to when you have a question. With 3 pharmacists, curbside, drive-through, and call-ahead service. Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville, 349-4400.
Where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
There's no missing that this is the new Mcfarland and Tinker Law Office location on the Mountain Parkway in the former Farm Bureau building in Sayersville, just like there's no denying that their nearly 60 years of legal experience has won their clients millions and millions of dollars in disability, auto accident, and wrongful death cases. It's where your case matters to you and to us. Mcfarland and Tinker, also Griffey approved. So this is what I can tell you as of right now. I just got off the phone with Felicia Estep at the Montgomery County Health Department. I've got a lot of stats, a lot of numbers to try to get to you in relatively short time, including today's case count, that for yesterday, that for Saturday as well. Numbers along the same line as we were seeing at the latter part of last week. Numbers which add up for last week through today, essentially being half of the week before. And that's not the only good news that we're starting to see. When I left you on Friday, we had 2 cases reported, and that number stayed true for the end of your Friday. So after seeing as many as 17 cases on Tuesday of last week, we were down to 10 by Thursday, 2 on Friday. We had 8 confirmed cases in Sayersville and Montgomery County on your Saturday. Yesterday we had 3, and only 2 cases again today. Now keep in mind, this is also, again, as it was last week, with the health department calling local healthcare providers to make sure that they indeed are still getting all numbers turned in and that this is not a misconception of any kind. Indeed, it is not. They are just seeing fewer people come in and test positive with COVID. So 2 cases today. Top right of your screen. The red numbers indicate total case counts for the past 4 weeks. 94 for the week that started September the 6th, 130 for the next week, 125 for the following week, and from Monday till yesterday, or today rather, a total of 64 cases, essentially half of the case count from the week before. So we've gone from 125 to 64 cases in just the past 2 weeks. Indeed, that is a good sign. There's also some other good signs. Estep tells me that she has spoken with all area hospitals in the Big Sandy area. All are reporting the same decline in cases and hospitalizations as well. Now, back to the topic of vaccines. here in Magoffin County. She also tells me that out of a population right now that stands at 12,900, the state has confirmed that we have 6,992 Magoffin Countyans vaccinated, and that is 54.2%. Remember, that's not of the eligible population, that's of the entire population. We have over 54% vaccinated. 4,440 have gotten the Moderna shot, 2,475 have gotten the Pfizer, and less than 80 have gotten the Johnson & Johnson. And if you notice that our positivity rating that I showed you just a few seconds ago on the data sheet there said 62%, well, that is real time. The state, per today's incident rate map, which you see here, has Magoffin County down to 70.5. That's the lowest we've been in some weeks and months. But in all actuality, with the health department doing their own math, that number is at 62%. Still well into the critical zone over 25, but still well below any number we have been for quite some time. Check out Johnson County, getting close to getting into the orange, down to 38.6. Elliott County's there at 20.9. Morgan, 33.3. And you can see the other numbers in the immediate eastern Kentucky area. Governor Beshear held his Monday address earlier today. This had, of course, today's COVID numbers, but a lot of other very important information. I'll focus on some of the biggest parts of that, including his request to legislators to approve $400 million in ARPA funds for essential workers, a bonus, a reward, he said, well earned for continuing to work throughout the entire pandemic. But we'll talk about that and the rest of the COVID news as well in just a few moments. Right now, I've got a lot happening on tonight's Magoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. I've got two very important announcements. Actually thought I had a couple of birthdays, but they're not for a little later on in the week. Nevertheless, our friends at the Water and Wine Food Pantry over at the Lakefront Church of God want to remind you about their health and wellness fair day after tomorrow. That's 8 in the morning till noon. Free blood pressure and diabetes checks, A1C checks, cholesterol screening, your COVID vaccine, door prizes, gift cards, freebies, and more. Everything is free. Visit a tent of all the different agencies who will be there day after tomorrow, 8 in the morning until noon. And currently, right now, through December the 15th, it's forest fire hazard season. That's no burning before 6 p.m. No burning whatsoever. Please keep that in mind until at least December the 15th. Keep my calendar in mind whenever you've got an announcement. And that includes, of course, birthdays and anniversaries as well. And that's because if you want everyone to know what you've got planned, or your church, your group, your club, organization, well, they are going to know it if you put it on Your News Today. Obituaries brought to you nightly by the Magoffin County Funeral Home. This Monday begin with services to be held this Wednesday at 1 for Linda Patrick Davis, 68, of Sagersville, who passed away yesterday at the King's Daughters Medical Center. The daughter of the late Elliot and Mella Sloan Patrick. She's survived by her husband Ernie, her son Robbie, her daughter Regina McCoy, brothers Larry Joe and Danny Ray and Donnie Patrick, and sisters Bonnie Sweeney and Teresa Estep, 4 grandkids and 4 great-grandkids. She's preceded in death by her brother Jimmy Patrick and a sister Joan Arnon. Funeral services Wednesday at 1 from the Sagersville Trinity Full Gospel Church at Burning Fork. Friends can call on the church for visitation tomorrow evening after 6. Lawrence Gray Cole, 84, of his Jim Arnott branch in Sagersville, passed away Saturday at his home, the son of the late Newton and Sally Smith Cole. He was preceded in death by his wife, Betty Combs Cole, son Lester Gray, and a number of brothers and sisters. He's survived by his son Tim and son Mark and Curtis, and daughters Linda Sue Bailey and Vicki Minix, Kathy Cantrell, brother Robert Cole and sister Linnea Reisner, 15 grandchildren, and numerous great-grandkids. Funeral services for Lawrence Gray are going to be held Thursday at 11 o'clock from There Is Hope Ministries Church on Jim Arnott Branch. The family will welcome friends Wednesday evening after 4 at the church for visitation. And a celebration of life is to be held this Saturday from 4 till 7 at the Magoffin County Funeral Home in honor of 64-year-old Kathy Ann Porter Smithers of Sagersville, who passed away Friday, September the 17th, survived by her son Jeffrey Reuben Smithers, daughter Ladina Line, brothers Rex and Jimmy Porter, and sisters Peggy Porter Kilgore and Grisetta Porter, and 7 grandchildren. 75-year-old Christine Patrick Stube of Sagersville passed away on Thursday at the Sagersville Health Care Center. The daughter of the late Dean and Mary Lovely Patrick, she survived by 2 sons, Shane Patrick and Gregory Wayne Stube, and brothers Dallas Patrick, Douglas Patrick, Marvin Henry, sisters Bethel Stevens and Bernice Stevens, and 3 grandchildren. A memorial service is to be announced. Services are to be announced for 65-year-old William J. Duke Dorton of Flat Gap, who passed away Friday at the Paul B. Hall Medical Center, the son of the late Kurt and Myrtle Dorton. He's survived by a daughter, Jennifer Allen of Staffordsville, son William Bradley Dorton, 5 brothers, Tiger, Boogie, Dud, Bobby Joe, and Chief Dorton, and a sister, Rose Dorton, and 9 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. He's preceded in death by his wife, Brenda Hayden Dorton, and 3 brothers and 2 sisters. Funeral services are incomplete at this hour for 53-year-old William Hall of Sagersville. He passed away today at the Paul B. Hall Medical Center. Those to be announced by the Sagersville Funeral Home. Arrangements as well incomplete for 47-year-old Michelle Lynn Blackburn Whitley of Sagersville. She passed away Saturday at her home, the wife of Rick Whitley. Arrangements again incomplete at this hour. Just click on ConleyTire.net and you can shop for tires, find out more about services, brands, wheels, rims, their free coffee, free Wi-Fi, and free local shuttle service, and of course the latest and greatest current offers and specials, like how right now you can get up to $150 back on a set of Goodyears. That's ConleyTire.net, or you can always stop by in Staffordsville or give them a call at 297-2424. Nostalgic or historic or whatever you want to call that feeling you get when you walk in and sit down at the counter and get a scoop of ice cream or a hot dog with sauce while your hometown pharmacist gets your prescriptions ready. Whatever it is, it's still here at Frazier's Prater Drug. Only better, with everything from Jelly Bellies to fresh popcorn to hot and cold gourmet coffees, even hot fudge cakes and banana splits. Frazier's Prater Drug hasn't forgot how important the little things in life are, and they don't want you to either. Stop and see them. They're just a couple of doors down from another Sagersville gym, the Seasonal Shop. At Sagersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sagersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sagersville National. Any way you want to chalk it up, any debate you wish to have about it, the very bottom line is that since I saw you last, we have surpassed another very grim milestone. 700,000 Americans have died since the beginning of the pandemic. There's no denying that. Hospitalized, well, the hospitalized people with COVID, 92 to 95% of those people hospitalized still are unvaccinated. Out of all the deaths, 95 to 97% of the deaths are in unvaccinated people. 98 to 99% approximately of vaccinated people who are hospitalized require minimal oxygen, minimal treatment, minimal stay, a few days. 98 to 99% of those. And the unvaccinated who are being hospitalized, well, you've seen and heard the stories. And the number of vaccines, on that note, is continuing to improve, not just locally, as I referred to a few moments ago, but nationally as well, but it still has a long way to go. Good news here in Kentucky is that we have seen now over 60% of all Kentuckians vaccinated. That's everyone. When you talk about the number of those eligible to be vaccinated, well, that number is even higher. Bashir says that 71% of all of those eligible to be vaccinated 12 years and older have been vaccinated. 74% of all of those 18 and older who are eligible have been vaccinated. And the highest vaccinated counties, I think Woodford, still at 87%, if I'm not mistaken. Fayette County, 75% of their population has been vaccinated. Those are absolutely astounding numbers. And speaking of numbers, Saturday, Kentucky recorded 2,500 new COVID-19 cases, but 54 deaths. A 49-year-old, a 52-year-old from Breathitt County, a 58-year-old from Floyd County, a 36-year-old, a 43-year-old from Lawrence County. Sunday, yesterday, 1,201 new cases and 22 deaths, including a 49-year-old from Pike County. While today, over 1,000 cases and 26 deaths, including a 43-year-old and a 49-year-old in Pike County.
And then today, 1,239 new cases, 26 new deaths, including a 43-year-old man from Anderson, 56-year-old man from Bourbon, 52-year-old man from Jefferson, and a 49-year-old man from Pike County. All right, it's hard. It's hard losing that many people, but there are a number of rays of hope. Today, our positivity rate is down to 9.31%. It is falling every single day, and that's what we want to continue to happen. Let's look over our stair-stepper chart. We now have 2 straight weeks of declining cases from that week that we had, we popped up a little bit the week after Labor Day. In reality, I think that if we accounted for Labor Day, people had gone in to get tested, we would be looking at 4 consecutive weeks of falling cases. Now, the drop from this last week to the week before is not as significant as to the week before that. So this is something we need to watch. We not only want the cases to drop, we want them to drop at a significant rate week to week. We want to make sure that we don't have one drop and a plateau, but right now, everything we're seeing suggests falling numbers of cases.
Also falling, the number of hospitalizations statewide as a whole down about 15%. ICUs, that number kind of back and forth and actually up 3%, but still not increasing. Hospitals are still overwhelmed, and that will continue for some time. But also decreasing, Kentucky monoclonal antibody orders. They are not being requested to the extent they were, which means that people, or as many people, are not getting as sick as they were. And just a couple of other things to note. Again, the governor saying that he is going to approach legislators about approving $400 million of ARPA funds, which would be next year essentially, but going to those essential workers as a reward for staying on the job, whether it was in the grocery store, the hospital, and the factory, or whatever, but those essential workers during the pandemic. Now, on the calendar, October the 14th, which is today is the 4th. An advisory council, he says, will be discussing the booster status of anyone who has gotten the Moderna vaccine and the Johnson & Johnson vaccines. And that a few weeks thereafter, on the 26th, another advisory council with the FDA will discuss approval or recommendation of Pfizer, the vaccine for 5 to 11-year-olds. Still a lot of news left here on the desk. I'll start picking that up on tomorrow. Right now, let's turn over to your Licking Valley RACC Outlook and talk about changes coming. It was a wonderful way to start off the work week. Oh, we're not going to see this pattern, though, continue for much longer. Blame low pressure and all the other scenarios they're going to play into it. Not me. I didn't have anything to do with it. I have loved September and the weather that went along with it. But October, by and large, for the past several years, not been so nice. So tonight, a 30% chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. They've been very scattered, and right now, pretty nice conditions in downtown Sagersville. Some patchy fog after 4 in the a.m. Partly cloudy, 59 degrees is where we'll fall tonight. For your Tuesday, things are about to change. A slight chance of some showers in the afternoon around 2 or 3. Partly sunny skies, upper 70s. It's going to be a nice Tuesday for the most part. By tomorrow night, shower chances are still only at about 40%, so it's going to be a little hit and miss tomorrow. But into your Wednesday and your Thursday, not so much. Clouds, showers, storms, winds as well. Rainfall estimates right now, maybe a quarter of an inch or so on your Wednesday. And then into your Thursday, we might as well pick up some more rainfall. Right now, my total estimates from the National Weather Service aren't that high, but there is the potential to add up to an inch or two when it's all said and done, Wednesday through Thursday and lingering into your Friday. Friday, we're still in the low to mid 70s. Shower chances still at 50% and mostly cloudy skies. So 3 days there in a row, not so swell. We do recover, though, and we're going to get a nice little break. Saturday, partly sunny, only a 20% chance of showers for the first half of your weekend, and 75 beautiful degrees. Mostly clear that night, 57, 20% chance of showers. Continuing. Sunday, not. Upper 70s make their way back into the forecast. In the neighborhood, 78 and sunny Sunday, 79 and partly sunny on your Monday. So it's not all bad. No severe weather expected, but clouds and showers in the middle of your 7-day. And that's my time again. Evenings like this are numbered. I can't give you that number, but trust me, they are numbered. I hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you back here tomorrow night. As always, a sincere thank you for watching.